Everything in your body has a spiritual counterpart.
Yeah.
Everything that you would find in your body corresponds to something within Zer Anpin and Nukva. Okay? That's this design that God created us with.
Yeah.
Okay? God set it into motion. We see that we are a very complex creatures, right? Our body works with, there's an immense amount of complexity and sophistication. Okay? That was already there. God put that there. We don't need to change it. So that's what it means to be a human being.
Yeah.
Is this particular configuration that we were born into.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now we have the tools to change that.
Yeah.
But and these tools are being wielded by people that want to change that.
Yeah. And they don't believe in God, and they don't believe in God, and they think that they're gods.
They want to be God. They have a different view, and I don't believe that they don't believe in God. I believe that they think they can maneuver. Yeah. Just like the builders of the tower, right? They wanted to fight God, but they believed in Him. Yeah. And just like the people before the flood, their wisdom of physics and engineering was so sophisticated that they felt that they had their understanding of the system that we live in was so complete that they felt that they could prevent the retribution that they knew was coming for the way that they were behaving. Right? They knew that their behavior would lead naturally to a catastrophe, so they thought that they could artificially prevent that. Okay, God changed the laws of nature, and then they couldn't predict.
So here's my question:
based on
when your brother is going to go on, let's say, a bigger, media source than the ones he's been on now, or let's say not a bigger but a more influential one, and he's going to say this, is it possible
he's going to explain what this term...
He's going to explain it. He's not just going to say it and then people are just going to run. He's going to say, this is what this means. And on top of that, I will hope, and I think he will know to do this, that he will say, ladies and gentlemen, you took this stuff, but ultimately, I don't blame you. I lay this at the feet. I blame the people that did this to you, and that they're the ones that actually want to fight God. I know you don't want to fight God. I know that you were led down a very, very dark path because of job and family and this and that and whatever it is. Or maybe you just believed in it. You were led to believe in scientism, or whatever it is. And I'm not blaming you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just telling you that this is what it is, and this is what's happening with you inside your bodies. And unfortunately, this is where this is the path that these demons have led you on. And now we have to work to fix this, to mechanically and physically, by extension spiritually fix this whole thing. I would hope that your brother will kind of lay it out like that, as opposed to, well, you're just a diseased leper and, sorry, there's nothing for you. Because this is kind of how people feel. That's why they get upset when your brother says things like that.
I'll project what I think he's going to say.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go automatically to that angle. He's going to just say, I think he's going to say like this, look, when I say that a person, my definition of a human being comes from the Torah, right? And it refers to somebody who is Tselem Elokim.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what Tselem Elokim actually means.
Yeah.
And he's going to describe it with the specific definition.
Yeah.
And he's saying that by altering that, right, you are changing the design that God put into place, and you're doing something else.
Yeah.
Okay? So by definition, you are no longer in the configuration that God put you in.
Yeah.
You are no longer in the image of God. The title human being, according to the Torah, means someone who's constructed by God's design. Okay? If you alter yourself to a different design, you are no longer a human being.
So it's ironic that, like, people already have been trying to augment themselves physically in the sense of not their DNA, but, you're talking about this rampant plastic surgery industry.
So augment is not, it's adding to, it's not changing the essence of. Because a person, because their essence has been changed, right? Yeah. And let's say they're not technically considered Adam, right? So, which means man. That's the definition of man, right? Yeah. So you are, you're still, doesn't mean that you should be a second-class citizen or creature. No one's saying, okay, now it's cool. You no longer have the status of human being. Of course, they're gonna try to push that angle. Obviously, this is what he's saying. Like he's saying that these people are not human anymore, and they don't deserve human rights. Yeah. That's what they're going to say. Yeah. Okay, obviously that is not at all. That's stupid. That's idiotic. Okay. Yeah. So the point is that we have to stop. It's telling the world to stop what you're doing. Stop changing yourself. Okay. Yeah. You're not necessarily past the point of no return. Okay. Let's work on this. Let's look at this. Let's assess the damage that has been done. Let's not do any more damage. Yeah. And let's see if we can reverse this. Yeah. Now, I have just a speculation, a personal theory, because when you learn about Mashiach, right, some of the things that are said about Mashiach is that he is a perfect, not a perfect. There's no human being that's perfect, but he is the person who achieves the closest resemblance to Zeir Anpin. Okay? Yeah. And he is completely resonating with Zeir Anpin. Yeah. Okay? He really took Zeir Anpin and his example to heart and emulated him and resonated with him in every way. Yeah. Now, something happens when you resonate with Zeir Anpin, with this design that God set out, okay, for us to be like and follow. Okay? You begin, this incredible shefa starts flowing to you. Yeah. Okay? This infinite knowledge and light and energy and enlightenment begins flowing into a person like that. Not because they're anything special, because they set themselves up in the right spot. Yeah. Okay? So imagine, like, as a metaphor, you have Zeir Anpin, right? This partsuf that God created for us to emulate, right? God uses this as a tool, okay? And then Zeir Anpin is, let's say, is just allegorically, metaphorically, floating in the sky, right? So if you want to receive the shefa, you got to stand directly underneath him in the right, just got to find that sweet spot. Yeah. And then the shefa starts flowing, just by default. Yeah. Okay? So Mashiach is the guy who did that. Yeah. And so what is the shefa? The shefa is infinite knowledge. Yeah. Knowledge about everything, which includes everything, okay? Which means understanding DNA, which means understanding sciences, understanding physics, understanding how to fix an issue, to correct.
You just made me think of, again, the end of the movie Mission to Mars with Gary Sinise when he meets that alien figure thing, and it shows him, like, all the, the DNA and, all this, like, evolution from start to finish and all this. You've seen this, right?
I think I've seen it. You know how I would describe it better? Have you ever seen Highlander? Yeah. The quickening. Finally, when there shall be only one. Remember, there can be only one.
I mean, I know the phrase. Yeah, the phrase. I didn't see that.
Part, basically, it's these weird immortal guys. Yeah. Most of the story doesn't fit into this. Yeah. But basically, what happens is when the last two of these guys, these immortals, fight. Yeah. Right? Yeah. The one that wins receives the prize. The prize is called the quickening. Yeah. The quickening is when you receive a pure, like, unobstructed flow of enlightenment and knowledge. So and then that's the Messiah figure of that fake fictional sci-fi world. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's very interesting. I think that at least that part, the quickening part, is. They got that right. That's what Mashiach receives. So that quickening, that flow of information, that connection, right, unobstructed, that is, I think it's also related to the idea of the keter, of the crown. And also the Yehida of the soul, right? So all of the Jewish people in all the world, they share a Yehida.
Yeah.
Okay, Yehida is the point where when we are all absolute unity with God.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what it's that Yehida serves as the crown of Mashiach.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about levels of consciousness here.
Yeah.
Okay, so a person Adam, right, was the greatest scientist who ever lived.
Yeah.
This is according to the words. Even Rabbi Bax said this. Listen to me. Even Rabbi Bax. He said this, and I'm copying him. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's wrong? It's weird that these weird little things. Anyway, so basically, so Adam was the greatest scientist in the world, and he was, he knew all knowledge, all physics, all science, everything that the most sophisticated. He was already just born at that state. There didn't need to be a development. God just kind of, gave it to him. Okay, so he could travel anywhere in the universe. Not just in the physical, but to any point in spiritual. It was different. Existence was different. So Mashiach is going to be that guy.
So basically, the only way for this to be healed is through Mashiach. That's what you're saying.
It would seem that this is such a complicated cluster F.
Yeah.
That it would it would have to be
cluster
like saying, supernatural intervention.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically. So what's really happening? At some point, the people who are going to realize that they have warped my image of God, my design, my godly design. I'm designed in this godly type of design that God designed me in. Sorry to use the word design so much, but okay. So this is I'm God's blueprint. So. Somebody changed that for me. I trusted somebody who wanted to suck the godliness out of me.
Yeah.
Someone who was anti-God. Yeah. Someone who is against everything. It wasn't good enough for them themselves. They needed to take it out of me too.
Yeah.
I want it back. I think that's all really people have to say. I think the point is that if people hear this information, they can make a decision as to what the ultimate free will decision. They're saying, God, I'm sorry I let this happen. I shouldn't have trusted these idols and these idolaters, right? And I want my Tzelem Elohim back, please, right? And I can't see God saying no.
Yeah, sure.
All you got to do is ask, right? So please return me to the image that you want me to be. I want to follow your program. Okay? So yeah, man. So the DNA, right? The human body, everything matches. So your consciousness, right, looks just like your body, within a different dimension. Okay?
Yeah. There's
a structure to your soul, to your consciousness, which matches everything that you have in your body, down to the last detail, and possibly more.
For sure.
So basically, if you change your body, right? So you're saying, like, the reason why there's this correspondence is because the soul needs something to bond to, which is a correct vessel for it. Yeah. If you're changing your body, your soul's not going to change.
Yeah.
It's just not going to inhabit the body. It's going to retract from it as much as possible. Okay? You're not going to have your godly consciousness, your godly soul inhabiting your body. There's going to be some sort of connection to it, okay? But you are essentially losing your humanity.
Yeah.
You have to stop that. You got to reverse the process.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this. Me.
So can I ask a question though? What is it? How does this loss of people's loss of humanity, how does it manifest? Can you see it in their behavior now? Can you see it?
I think so. I think that that what's the difference between Adam and Enosh? Or Ish. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like, those are both words which are translated as man. Okay, so there was man before Adam. So what's the difference? Adam was a new type of creature. It had the same body as the type of man that existed before, but it had a special consciousness implanted into it. That's called the godly soul. Yeah. Okay, so the other men were intelligent. You may not necessarily be able to tell an Adam and an Ish apart from each other. Yeah. They were sitting on the bus next to each other, okay? Yeah. But there's a certain proclivity for transcending the basic like the basic bitch idea, right? Like the very like there's a proclivity to transcend that, to think about things higher than your most basic needs. Yeah. You know, how to get to work, how to get paid, how to buy a burger, how to pay for gas. You know, so I think that consciousness of people who just stay within that realm, right? Who never. So I think that if your soul is not as comfortable in your body anymore because you destroyed or you shifted the structures that it bonds to in your body, right? So now it retracts as much of itself as it can. There's still a connection. It's not totally retracted, okay? Yeah. And so that's good. So this proclivity is not going to be as evident. It's not going to be as present in the consciousness. It'll retract back further into the subconscious, and less of it will be manifest in your life.
So here's my question, though, meaning, but now you have these people who are, and then you have the people who I call the regrettables, the ones that see what's going on. They were forced to take the thing, but they see what's going on. You know, when you talk to them, they're not zombies, you know, because some of these people, you talk to them, it seems like you're talking to, it's like my friend says, why are you talking to these people? They're going to be, whatever, has v'shalom within a certain amount of time. There's no point, you know?
No, that's awful. That's awful.
But he's upset, whatever. That's his frustration, you know? It's just like your brother has his frustrations, this guy has his frustration, whatever. So, you talk to the people who are not doodles, what I call doodles, and they're awake, and especially people like my parents who grew up in the Soviet Union, they see what's going after they took the stuff, and then things got really rolling with this, all the policies. My parents were like, okay, now we understand what the heck is going on here, you know. Before they told us it was for older people, now we see that this is nothing to do with health, and it's all BS and it doesn't, whatever. So these are the people that are like, I spoke to them at that event, you know, the Israelis. And you see that they are awake, and you can get through to them, or you can give them, you know, they're already ready to be makabel, kind of, you know, language and information to work with, you know, so that they can help other people, whatever it is, you know. So when I look at them, I honestly cannot say that that they've already been, you know, what I call, you know, we could call de-Elohimized, you know. I don't think they are. I think there's something is going on. If we look at this, just the basic aspect or the technical aspect of this, we know that there are different batch numbers with different amounts and different potencies.
Yeah.
And, you know,
that's what I was gonna say.
So there's like, I guess there's like what is it called? There's like an event horizon in this whole thing to where it's a critical amount of things, amount that you take that gets you, you know, so to speak, over that hump and into like another realm of existence. Everything below that, the question is, what is that amount, right? So everything below that, you're going to be relatively okay. You're still with us. You know what I'm saying? You're still like, I'm looking at you and I'm still seeing a human being, not a zombie, right? So
the likelihood of that being, you know, getting to the bottom of those kind of specific things is not high. I'd like to back up here for a moment and say I've never wanted to be wrong more in my life.
Same. This is what I told my friend. I was like, dude, I wish I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I will tell you that I'm wrong, and I was being an idiot. I was being a weird conspiracy theorist. I was your crazy friend Tzvi. and I was, whatever. I was in my own stupid vortex, and whatever.
Because if people like, if there's a backlash at us saying you were wrong and you were saying this and you were saying that, that's on the one hand, that's a wonderful thing because that evil scenario didn't occur.
Yeah,
it's worth it to hear people cursing at you and saying, "Oh."
I will stand there with a smile on my face, and I will say, "My friend, I love you. You can curse at me all you want. Please do so."
Yeah, I'm just glad that that the thing that I was worried about didn't happen.
Yeah, but unfortunately, especially according to this guy who used to work for Schmazak, it looks like very, very soon. Listen, this year, man, we have 2 Adars. We have 2 Adars. Yeah. It almost seems like the first Adar is for everything to be kind of revealed, I think, and then the second Adar is for the Mizat Hashem, the din. It's not going to be on us. It's not going to be on the victims. It's going to be on the people who the din needs to be on. And,
I don't know, man. I think we've had enough din. But basically, I think that, first of all, let's hope that we are 100% wrong. I would be very happy.
Yes.
Now, let's say we're not entirely wrong. Okay? So, you have people who not necessarily did they get the thing, and not necessarily did it work the way they wanted it to.
Yeah.
Right? That's another hope.
Yeah.
What my brother is saying, regardless of the details as to how it turns out, the idea of using this type of technology to alter your DNA is the idea of altering your godly form.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say. He goes, you have to understand what they're doing, what this technology can do, what they're trying to do with it, and then it's not clear to what level they're succeeding.
Yeah.
But understand that this is what they're trying to do. That's really what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody can dispute that. They outright say it.
Yeah. And that's
the definition of what it means to be a human will change it, and you will change another technology, right? What do you think they're talking about?
In and of itself, that's bad enough. Yeah. Just the intention.
The intention and the carrying out of the plan.
Yeah. And then doing this thing of like, what is it? Coming in the form of prophecy, like they said, we told you that this was going to happen. Because you did it.
Buts would come, and then they would pick it, and then no buts.
Yeah.
So basically, that is. I hope that they're completely unsuccessful. Honestly, I only hope that they are successful on themselves.
Oh yeah, sure.
I hope that they push themselves right out of the human.
You're assuming that they actually took this stuff. I doubt it.
No, I mean I think that look, some of the stuff that was released to kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some of it was released to change people's DNA.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Some of it was placebo.
Yeah.
Okay?
It had to
because
be. It says it says so.
If everybody starts dropping dead at once,
it's a problem.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay? So we definitely know that they've already killed millions of people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they're just trying to still kill many, many more people.
Now they're just trying to hide it.
Now they're just, not even that much.
Yeah.
Not even that much. They're not playing the long game.
Yeah.
It's just that's how stupid they think you are and lazy.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think we've adequately touched upon this idea.
Yeah.
And again, like to reiterate how wrong I hope I am.
Yeah.
Okay? Boy, would it be great. It would feel great to be wrong.